So today we're doing an oil change on a 2011 Toyota Tacoma with the B6 4.0 liter. A couple of reasons you might want to do your own oil change. Obviously the first one is to save a little bit of money. For me, it's a whole time thing. I'm going to be done with this oil change in about 15 minutes. That's about how long it would take me to have to drive up to an oil change shop, wait around for however long it's going to take them to change the oil, and then the drive back. And you know, you'd be looking at least 45 minutes to an hour total turnaround time to get back home. I'm going to be done with this in 10 to 15 minutes. So for me, it's just a lot easier and cheaper and faster to just change my own oil. Things you're going to want though, you're going to want a drain pan, obviously your oil filter, some kind of a wrench. Now this particular vehicle takes a 14 millimeter, and I like these. This is a dog bone. This is a special type of wrench. It's got all your different sizes, anything from 12 to 19 millimeters. So when you climb up underneath the vehicle, this is the only tool you're going to take. And regardless of what size the drain plug is, it's going to be on here. In this particular case, it's a 14 millimeter. So I'm going to set that to 14. And an oil filter wrench, if the oil filter ends up being a little bit tight. We'll see. These should only be hand tight, but if someone wrenched them on too tight, then you'll need some kind of an oil filter wrench to help get that off. But we'll get to that here in a minute. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to slide the drain pan roughly where it needs to go. Oh, a couple rags and a cup. I'll show you what the cup's for here in just a minute. So let's climb up underneath this here vehicle. And your drain plug is going to be right here. Now this is a TRD four-wheel drive, so yours may or may not have a skid plate. Now all you're going to do is take your wrench, always look and make sure that the O-ring or copper washer, whatever you've got on the drain plug, is in good shape. That's what prevents it from leaking. And we're just going to let that drain until it is done. We're going to button up the bottom, and then once we climb out from underneath here, we won't have to get underneath it again. Now at this point you could actually go up and start doing your filter, but since I'm already laying down here, I'm going to just go ahead and finish out the bottom. And be done. I did let the vehicle warm up. You don't want to do it when it's fully hot, just because it's miserable getting hot oil on you and dealing with a you know, a hot drain plug and everything. But if it's cool, or it's the first day that the first time you started your vehicle, let it run for just a few minutes to warm the oil up a little bit. That way it'll drain quicker and easier. And it's up to you to determine how much you want to continue to drain out of there. What I do is, whenever it stops draining in a solid stream and it starts trickling and breaking up, that's whenever I decide it's good enough. You can sit here for 30 minutes and let every little teeny tiny drop drain out if you really wanted to, but I don't worry too much about it. This this Toyota's got 260,000 miles on it, and So obviously, you know, they'll go for a long time. You don't have to worry about draining every drop out of it, thinking you're going to contaminate your fluid with old oil if you don't get every drop out of it. Starting to break up. I'm going to call that good. Now, one mistake that a lot of people make is they wrench these plugs on way too tight. You just snug them up. It's not going to vibrate loose. And that's all there is to the bottom half. Now let's go to the top. Okay, so we're up here at the filter. I'm going to attempt to get it off by hand to start with. If I can't, then I'm going to use one of these. This is by far the best oil filter wrench ever, in my opinion. Now I'm just going to crack it because this has got a port down here that catches the oil. A lot of people will hook a hose to that, and you can do that. What I do is I just take a small cup and I just stick it right down like that. And I'll let it drain into this cup. And I should have brought a rag with me, but I forgot. So I'll let it finish draining until it's just dripping. Then I'll get over here and get me a rag. A lot of people's not going to have a hose. And there you go. You could use like a solo cup or just disposable cup. And like I say, be smarter than me and have a rag available. Now they'll tell you to use brand new oil for the gasket, but out of the hundreds or thousands of oil changes I've done, a little bit of used oil is not going to hurt nothing. And just hand tight. You don't use a wrench to tighten it up. Okay, let's see what's going to work good here. That one right there looks good. $5W30 is what the factory recommends. Of course, whatever brand you like is fine. I like Valvoline. This is full synthetic. This is a TRD four-wheel drive version, so it's going to take 5.5 quarts. I think the non-four-wheel drive takes 5. I think it's just 5 even, but double check. make sure you're putting the right oil in. The main thing is once you get it full is to check your dipstick, which we'll do as soon as I get the oil in. I'm going to hold off right there until we see what the level's at. Okay, I'm going to start it up. That's right on the money. So we're going to call that good. So we're done. That was approximately what, 10 or 15 minutes worth of work, and we're done. We can get back to doing whatever you want to do instead of waiting around a lobby waiting for oil to be changed. And you got to use the oil that you wanted and the oil filter that you wanted. A lot of shops, they got their oil that they use and whatever brand oil filter that they use. So anyway, 2011 Toyota Tacoma 4.0 V6, quick and easy oil change. You guys take care. And guys, if you're wondering what to do with your old oil, just pour it back in the jug. This is a 5-quart jug. Just pour it back in the jug and run it up to AutoZone. They take old oil so it can be recycled. So that's all I do. Just pour it back in the jug that I just poured the new oil out of, and I run it up to O'Reilly's is who I use, but you can do AutoZone. You can do just about any auto parts store, and that's how easy that is. So you guys take care. We'll see you in the next one.